Hello and welcome to today's video, and today we're going to be talking about everything you need to know for the life of a showgirl. I'm going to give you my final predictions, some important Easter eggs and lyrics, and my bingo sheet for release day. So as we are talking, The Fate of Ophelia is officially the lead single, and I'm very excited to see how The Fate of Ophelia and The Life of a Showgirl kind of bookend the journey we will be embarking on with this album. I also wonder if the manuscript or Clairbow will be the transition track from Tortured Poets into The Life of a Showgirl, because The Midnights ends with It's Different saying, "Is it you or have they come to take me away?" And Tortured Poets department starts with, "I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me." The last line of Clairbow is "The future's bright, dazzling," so I think that could tie in very well the theme of this album. That's what I think it will be. I do not think it will be something from Anthology, just because I think Clairbow ties in so well with kind of like what we already know about this album. Also, I'm really experimenting with the editing of this video, so tell me if you like it in the comments, because if you like it, then I will keep editing in this style. And I also think Clairbow is kind of how she feels in the industry, which is probably what most of the album will be about. So I think Clairbow is kind of our transition track from the Tortured Poets department into The Life of a Showgirl. Also, I'm curious to see what you guys think about this, but I think there's always one song on every album that could go on the next album and that belonged on a past album. I don't know what from Tortured Poets I would say could have been really well on Midnights, just because I think they're two completely different vibes. So tell me what you think in the comments, but I do think that what we know about the album, Clairbow will fit in very well with this album. I'm kind of just going off of the vibes, but Midnights, I don't think there's a vibe Tortured Poets that could go on Midnights. With Midnights, maybe it would be Maroon or You're Losing Me. Also, like how I think New Year's Day and Call It What You Want could have gone on Lover, and Bad Blood could have gone on Reputation. And I think State of Grace and I Knew You Were Trouble and We Are Never Getting Back Together could have also gone on 1989. I think it's also something important to talk about that this album is not about what happened on stage on the Eras tour, but how she was feeling off stage.
This represents the end of my night.
Okay.
Right? So like when I'm on tour, I have the same day every single day. It's another reason why we have a very similar life. His game days are the same days every day. His practice days are the same every day. His meetings, his schedule. My show days are the same every single day. I just happen to be in a different city.
Yeah.
And my day ends with me in a bathtub, not usually in a bedazzled dress.
Sure. Well, it's got to be, it's on the front of an album.
We try
it's got
to
be
keep it
dressed
decent.
up.
But now we're going to kind of get into like the era and everything that has happened in the Life of a Showgirl era so far. So we kicked off this era with a 2-hour podcast where she talked really the most in-depth about things we have seen in years. She gave us a glimpse into her personal life, but more importantly, she was in a comfortable environment, which often does not happen on traditional talk shows or interviews. But since it was Travis and Jason's podcast, who are her family, and Travis is obviously her fiance now, she knew she would get final say, and she knew she would not have a bad edit. But we then got 4 CD variants and one of the most stunning covers I've ever seen. And then we got 4 vinyl variants with each their own stunning covers. I got Tiny Bubbles and Champagne, so I would be curious to know which variant you got. Please tell me in the comments. Each of the variants also have 4 different poems in them, which I did not realize until actually today, and I saw a clip from a video she did where she was saying each variant has a different poem in it. So I wonder if it's each of the like actual vinyl variants, like colors, like the green and purple Shiny Bug have 2 different poems in them, or if it's all the Shiny Bugs have the same poem. Tell me what you think in the comments, because I don't think she was too clear on that. And then she got engaged, and that was the fattest rock I've ever seen. And we probably got the itchiest looking cardigan I've ever seen, but I also don't feel like Taylor would release something that she knew would be itchy or uncomfortable for us, but I could be wrong. Obviously no one has gotten the cardigans yet. As I'm filming this, it's 2 days until release day, or release night, I guess. Then we got our signed CDs. I got the 3rd insert, so tell me which insert you guys got in the comments. I would love to know. And now billboards have started popping up all over major cities, and the album comes out in 2 days. And then we have the Graham Norton show on October 3rd, and then we have the world premiere of the Fate of Ophelia music video and the release party. I think there will be a lot of music videos for this era also, but I will get to my predictions later. So let's kind of talk about what we're going to get at the release party. So we know the full runtime is 89 minutes because she was born in 1989, and the album's time is 41 minutes. Fate of Ophelia music video is probably around 3 minutes 46 seconds, but anywhere from 3 minutes 50 seconds to 4 minutes 10 seconds if she decides to include a little skit or something in the beginning or the end, or just an intro clip to the video. And so we have 41 minutes of remaining footage for behind the scenes explanations, music video filming, behind the scenes, and song discussions, and some studio footage maybe like we got for the Taylor Swift Now. So I would be very curious to what you get in this. I think I am going to a show. So tell me in the comments what you guys think we will get for the remaining 40 minutes. I also think that we may get something else on the 4th, because the time card it says standby. And Sabrina, I think, is performing at ACL on the 3rd or the 4th. So maybe she's going playing on CL with Sabrina. Then we have Jimmy Fallon on the 6th and Late Night with Seth Meyers on the 8th. But I just want to issue a PSA. This is not her last album. She will be doing TS13 at least, because are you guys really dumb enough to think she's not going to do TS13? 13 is her favorite number and has been her entire life. She is going to do a 13th album at least. Obviously, I would love for that to be kind of a return to country, or like even country pop, kind of like how You Belong With Me, Love Story were, or maybe even like a Thank You Amy vibe would be nice. I've seen a lot of theories that TS13 is going to be a triple album where she does country, folk, and pop, because those are the 3 genres she's done. Tell me in the comments what you think TS13 will be. And also another PSA, please avoid leaks like it is the plague. We cannot this album leak like we did Tortured Poets. I mean, I'm sure there already have been, because we need to be supporting the way Taylor wants this album to roll out and release. So don't support leaks, report leaks if you have to. I think there's a website circulating on Twitter where you can report leaks for piracy. So please do that if you can. If you see the leaks, report them, block them, mute the user, do whatever you have to do to avoid the leaks. Because we are now, as this is released and as I'm filming this, we are in leak territory. We have reached that part where leaks will become more and more prevalent. So just try to avoid leaks if you can. So I don't have as many predictions as I thought I did. I thought I had like 20. Actually, I only have like 5, but we are still going to get into them. I think a look behind the curtain is going to be a trailer for the behind the scenes footage filmed on the Eras tour, and the documentary is just called A Look Behind the Curtain, and the 2-minute 40-second clip is a trailer for that. And I also think that when we get the documentary, it'll have a cinematic release in theaters, because she is trying to build some relationships with theaters, because she is working on making her directorial debut in a movie. I think that she's trying to build her relationships with the theaters so she can get that put into theaters. I think that when we get that, it's going to include Eras tour planning, rehearsals, re-recording Speak Now 1989, debut, and the quarter of rep we have re-recorded, the conception of the life of a showgirl, and then the rest of the behind the scenes footage. I think maybe she's going to do a little mini series like they did with the DCC, or maybe just a 2 to 3 hour documentary. I would be down for whatever she wants to give us, though. I also think that this is going to be full-fledged Taylor Mania, and she's going to hit new peaks in her career, because she's been comparing this to 1989 and Folklore so much. Folklore won Album of the Year, 1989 was Album of the Year. This is going to be her 5th Album of the Year. She's the only artist to win Album of the Year 5 times if this happens, because that's what was going to happen with Tortured Poets. And she also said this is a perfect album. 1989 was a perfect album. It won Album of the Year too. I've already kind of started to transition to my next prediction, but I decided it was going to be an Album of the Year winner. She's also listening to a lot of criticism, and I think that this album's mission is world domination. I say that as if she hasn't already accomplished that, but she is going to dominate even more of the world and gain even more traction and more fans, which sounds crazy to say about Taylor Swift. I think that this is something in connection to rep, whether the next piece of work we get from her music-wise is the rep vault, or either maybe this album is just going to give rep vibes. Who knows? But there was the tea necklace, the acoustic versions of rep songs in the back of the promo videos, posters behind her shoes. I feel like a showgirl would wear high heels rather than whatever kind of shoe you would call what she was wearing. Or maybe she was just in her comfy outfit, because it did look like she was on the set something, whether that was like the Fate of Ophelia music video or whatever it was. The segment of the rep songs that we've been getting also starts 47 seconds in, so maybe this is Easter eggs for something hinting at when we are getting the rep vault in the Fate of Ophelia music video. Also did die in Act 4 Scene 7 of Hamlet, and the Fate of Ophelia is the lead single. The album also has the same photographers as rep. So now let's get into my lyric predictions. So we have the glorious fortuitous mistake, better in principle than in practice. He sees what he sees, and it bodes well for me. When the lights are bright, he slows down time, and baby, that's show business. It's frightening, it's beautiful, it's rapturous. Oftentimes it doesn't feel so glamorous to me, which is a new one we've gotten today as I'm filming this, because it was on the mirror in the New York City Spotify experience. And so now I'm going to share my bingo sheet with you. I'm not going to show you the actual bingo sheet because my writing is horrible. I will be putting all of it on the screen. So I've been seeing Ali Sheehan make these bingo sheets for the Sabrina Gets a Verse, a mention of bright lights, alcohol mentioned, but specifically champagne. I'll reference her past work, drowning, and water. She's going to name drop someone isn't in the track list. I think there's going to be some electric guitar.